Hey guys, welcome back. Natalie Newhart here, founder of Fit Addicted Nutrition. So today what I want to talk about is something that I know so many women would like to be able to do, which is, be able to lose weight without having to count food, without having to track food. And I'll tell you, first of all, before we get into it, you definitely, I think it is imperative that you do track food at some point. I don't think it's absolutely required, but I think it's going to help you understand what foods to choose, and it will keep you on a more consistent, gradual fat loss, progress, or, keep you lean consistently day in and day out rather than fluctuating so much if you know what certain foods consist of as far as protein, carbs, and fat. But I'm just going to take it, I'm just going to tell you my biggest three pointers to what you need to focus on when it comes to doing intuitive eating, when it comes to being able to either stay and maintain a certain leanness or actually lose weight without having to track and count food, okay? And so what it comes down to is really three things. Obviously food, certain types of food, certain types of workouts, and then obviously, maybe not obviously for you, but your state, your mindset, your stress management, okay? So we're going to go into the first one. So food-wise, what we're looking at is protein, fiber, water. That's what PFW stands for. So we're looking at as much protein, fiber, water-rich foods as possible. Why? Because these foods are the ones that are going to keep you the fullest, the longest, with the least amount of calories. So we could actually look at like a chicken breast and, like a full chicken breast and a donut. And these two things can actually have the same amount of calories, but very different macro-wise. The chicken breast is going to have a lot more protein, and just a little bit of fat and no carb. And the donut is going to have a lot more carb and fat and no protein. And so it's the fact that there's so much more protein in the chicken breast that's going to keep you fuller longer. And so if you think about if I were to have 5 chicken breasts, do you think you could eat all 5 chicken breasts? For me, yeah, because I love chicken, but maybe for you, you'd be like, no way, that's a lot of chicken. I don't think I could do that, and that's what a lot of my clients say is like, oh my God, that's so much. But when it comes to donuts, it's like, oh, 5 donuts, no problem. I could do 5 donuts, right? And that's because of the content, the way that food is made up. And so the chicken breast, it acts in your body in a particular way that's going to make you fuller, faster, and keep you fuller longer, okay? Whereas the donuts are going to trigger you to want more of them, and it'll skew your hunger. It'll be really easy for you to think like, oh, I just want another one. I just want more. It's very, you're not very satiated at first, okay? And it can trigger, that's why donuts and those kind of things can lead to overeating, okay? So we really want to focus on protein, fiber, water-rich foods, things like lean meats, veggies, and foods that have a lot of water in them, okay? And then what you want to do, obviously, we're not going to eat bland chicken or broccoli, so you want to add in just enough salt, sugar, fat to make that food taste good. Now, this is super key because the last thing you want to do is have a diet that you hate. So you want to add in, almost in condiment fashion, just sprinkle it in, enough salt, sugar, fat to make your food taste good. So that could be just enough dressing, just enough croutons, just enough crackers, right? But it's not going to be, you're not going to start with the crackers and the cheese and then go to the chicken. You're going to have the chicken and the veggies first and then just a little sprinkle of the crackers on the side, okay? So that's what you would do food-wise, right? And here's a plate for an example. This is what your typical plate would look like. Half of it should be protein. And I like to think almost 2 palm-sized fulls at least for every meal, okay? And then, 2/3 of the other half should be fiber, so veggies, and then just a little sprinkle or sliver of carbs, okay? So think of it like 3 parts protein, and then the other half of that is going to be fiber or veggies, and then just 1 part carb. So that's the way that your plate should look like. Most people tend to have, make this their carb, and then their fat looks like that, and then their protein is like this, and they're like, I don't know why I can't eat enough protein. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you're starting with carb, and then you're adding fat, which just, of course those stuff taste good, and then you don't even have any room for protein. So So we want to make sure we don't do that. Okay. Gym wise, what you want to focus on is mainly yellow days. Your week should be consisting mainly of yellow days. So if you don't know my green, yellow, red system, make sure you check out that video. I think it's called the female, or I think it's called like the green, yellow training system or something like that. But basically you want days where you go into the gym, but you're not crushing yourself. I like to think of it as like I'm going through my workout, and the workouts are short, and I'm not doing like long metcons. Like my workouts are probably 10 minutes a hit. I like to actually think of like the 10, 20, 30, right? So 10-minute hit, 20 minutes of strength, and then 30 minutes of walk. Okay, so it's just super simple. 10-minute, like, high intensity intervals, 20 minutes of weight training, and then 30 minutes of walking. Okay, that's the way that you should be looking at that. Why? Because it's not going to stimulate your hunger like green days would. Green days are things like where I'm going to go run for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or I'm going to go do a boot camp class, or I'm going to go do, there's like a lot of cardio involved. So the more heavy breathing that you're doing, the more you're going to stimulate your appetite, and the harder it's going to be to keep your calories in a deficit. And so it's better to just keep your workout super punchy, super short, lift some heavy weights with lots of rest in between, and then finish out with a walk to lower those cortisol levels. And that will be able to keep your hunger in check so you don't feel like you're fighting yourself. And then, you would just basically add in, maybe 1 to 2 green days. So if you really like to work out, or just to get yourself a change in, maybe you want some more carbs, that's where the green days come in. So that's where you'd want to, do a longer metcon, or do some cardio or whatever, so that you can have some more of those fun foods in your diet and not feel deprived. Okay. Then mindset. So that's the third thing. It's probably the most important thing, but the most overlooked. And so this is state management. If you're somebody that's in a perpetual state of anxiety or overwhelm or frustration or sadness, or you're just easily triggered, like most of the women that I work with, you're going to really want to make sure that every single day you're prioritizing and making time for slow walks and rest and recovery every single day. Because the more that you can get your mind and your body to still and quiet down, then the easier it is for you to control your habits with food, right? Your reactions with food. You'll be less likely to do mindless eating, emotional eating, impulsive eating. And so mindset is what's going to make the food happen, and even the gym. It'll help you have more motivation for the gym, right? And have a good time doing it. So this is absolutely important. In fact, half of my one-on-one program is designated towards training your mind to in such a way so that we aren't fighting ourselves. We aren't thinking about food all the time. We aren't impulsively eating or emotionally eating, mindlessly eating, those kind of things. So definitely, the best thing for you to do to start tackling mindset, and start to lower that stress, because that's basically what we're doing, is just reducing stress, is by slow walks and R&R stuff. So things like naps, long showers, hot baths, massage, stretching, things where you are so in the moment. You're not just checking it off the to-do list, but you're literally you're training the mind and body to relax. You're turning off the mind, you're turning off the rest of the world, and just being super present. That does wonders when it comes to controlling your cravings and your impulses around food. Okay. So that's basically it. That's what it comes down to. If you're interested in, trying to either maintain a certain leanness or lose weight without tracking food, these are the 3 categories I would put your focus on. All 3 of them are really equally important, but I'd say probably the most important is going to be mindset, because once you're in a state of calm, relaxation, peace, you aren't going to be you won't be having those cravings for sugary, salty, chip type foods. Okay. And so this really allows you to do the food and the gym. Okay. So if you're looking for something, like wondering, hey, well, how do I incorporate this? I have a variety of different programs. I've got some self-paced options. I've got cheat sheets, online courses, and of course my one-on-one program. But so I would look into, if this is something that you're interested in with losing weight without tracking food, I would check out my stress management stress reduction cheat sheet, or my female hormone diet course, which will walk you through the food, the gym, and the mindset component. If you're looking for accountability, if you know those self-paced programs don't work for you, then what I would suggest is just apply to work with me, see if I have a spot open. I'm always looking for the right people. I don't take on all that many because my program is very high impact, very high touch. And so, but if you're interested in applying and seeing if you'd be a good fit, just go to www.talk2nat.com and we can get you set up and, get you away from all the diets and the restricted eating, and meal plans and etc., and get you towards a more freeing, relaxed approach to losing weight, staying fit, and really enjoying the process, and without it having to feel like a burden or a chore, because that's really what we're all after. And so that's what I've designed my program around, is how do we create that fit body with the freedom that we are all looking for. So yeah, check those out, self-paced programs, or apply to work with me one-on-one. That's it, guys. Good luck. I hope you learned something, and much love to you all. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.